Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? I think I got the audio fixed. Yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of a lag on here because it's YouTube and the YouTube's likes to screen everything. I also have to use YouTube language and whatnot. So, yeah. But, yeah, so let's see how this goes. Hopefully you can hear now. I feel like the Verizon guy. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, good, good, good. You can hear me. Oh, thank the YouTube gods. It got it to work. I know I say I'm the devil. I said that on my last vlog and stuff. But, like, yeah. Oh, great, great. You guys can hear me. Awesome, awesome. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. I got a little live stream intro while everybody files into the chat since I'm new and little and everything. And we got some things to talk about. Some things related to Diddy, and so I'm going to have to screen myself as much as I can because it's related to Diddy, but I'm sure if you guys found my channel, which you guys are smart and everything, and it's really hard to find me, then you know about the Diddy stuff. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the LA tunnels, and this is actually going to be educational because, well, I'll explain it to you because, you know, a lot of times people will tell us stories and they sound really fanciful. But if you look back into history and you educate yourself, you can find the threads of truth. So we're going to do this. Here we go.
No, I'm not on medication. I'm on weed, though, and I feel hella good.
Take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. Take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland.
Ooh, Wonderland.
Please stand by.
All right. So yeah, that was my intro thing. It's probably giving you an idea of what we're going to be talking about and whatnot. So exit full screen. There we go. So yeah, one of the things that I've been getting recommended, and one of the things I like to do is go into a lot of rabbit holes and stuff, and I kind of went over some of this stuff on my live stream channel. Not my live stream channel, my vlog, my last vlog, and it was about, like, Allie Carter and how she had that story about the tunnels under LA, and it sounded really crazy. And then this other comedian named, I think his name is Bill. What is his name? His name is he's the one, that comedian that he's been talking about the secret Starbucks under LA in the actorbaun, and it sounds really crazy. It all sounds really crazy. Well, if you watched my last vlog, you kind of know that I kind of understand why some of these things are, like the way they are and things like that. And I went into detail with it a little bit over there, and you can listen to it and whatnot, So, a lot of these things that are going on now go back to things that actually happened, and we can see in history in the early 1900s when LA was becoming a city. Now, one of the things that historically happened was they had something called the Pacific Electric Railroad Company in LA, and it was a transit system in LA to move people around. And in the 1925, they opened up a part of this electric railway underground, and they had tunnels. Well, since then, these tunnels have been abandoned. Now, when I listen to Allie Carter, I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, right? Well, one thing that recently happened, and you're going to think this is crazy, but it loops around, was the LA fires. Now, I'm not going to get into any, YouTube doesn't like this word, but it sounds like hysteria sees, that word sounds like, if we're playing Surage, sounds like, okay, so you get it, right? Wink, wink, nod, nod, get it, we get it. Okay, good. So, Lana Del Rey did a music video, a song. It was called High by the Beach. And in it, she did her music video in a house that was off of PCH in Malibu. Well, this house in Malibu has since burnt down. And I was in the comments, and I'm looking, and I'm like, that's sad. And it jogged my memory, because I had just been watching videos about Allie Carter, right? And I remember going over to this video and I remember thinking, oh yeah, Lana Del Rey has an album and a song called, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? You've heard that, right? That song, it's pretty good, right? And I looked into that tunnel, and I'm like, wow, this is a really nice looking tunnel. And if I can pull up I'll pull up some pictures of it. Let's see if I can get some pictures up for you. But it's really, really nice. So let me see. Let me see if I can find you a picture. Okay, here is an old picture of this tunnel. So here's an old picture of this tunnel. You probably see it off to the side right there above my horns. So, this was it, I think, in its heyday, but it has nice tile. It's got these really, really nice columns. Let me get my cursor over here. These really nice columns that, like, I'm thinking this is really nice for the 1920s and everything. And I'm like, this is an underground tunnel, and this is nice. And we'll go through some videos eventually more about this tunnel. But it got me thinking that, well, if this old tunnel here is boarded up under Ocean Boulevard, like Lana was telling us, what else is boarded up underground in LA? Because I also remember getting recommended videos, and we'll watch maybe some of those too, about how there's a lot of pedestrian walkways under LA. And yeah, there is the train, the substation and everything, but there used to be an older subway that was, a part of the, Pacific Electric Railway Company. So that's what we're going to talk about. So let me get this off the screen. So when I was doing this research, I found a very, very interesting video by Huell Hauser. So before we watch this very interesting video about Huell Hauser, I actually am going to play a 9-minute clip, and I will be reacting to it because, also to fair use, guys, fair use. I'm enacting the fair use gods. I know how that works. We're using all of this for educational purposes to educate the public about tunnels and stuff, and, how you can kind of pick apart patterns and things, because this is what I've been picking up. And I've been seeing some things, and I really want your guys' input on these things that I've been seeing, because I think they're very interesting. And yeah, so let's see. I'm going to play this clip of Allie Carter for you guys, and it's 9 minutes. So we're going to play this here. Let's see. I want this bigger. All right, so this is from a channel, actually. Who is this channel? This channel, Moses, and she does a lot of, content about, a type of, doesn't have to do with cars, but, when cars are in traffic on the LA freeway, yeah, there's a word in that sentence I just said. Get it? Good, because we're smart over here. We're really smart, and we're going to pick apart the threads of truth here. So, this person, I guess, was in contact with Allie Carter, maybe, and then had a falling out because I don't know. But this is where I was able to find this clip. So, we're going to watch it. It's from October. Part of it, I think parts are from October of 2024 and another live stream. So we're going to play Allie Carter, and then we're going to listen to Huell Hauser. And this video that Huell Hauser does is from years and years ago in the early 2000s. And you'll see how long ago it was posted to YouTube. And it was actually a video that was on TV. It was on TV. So, yeah. All right, so full screen mode. Let's see. Let me get the volume up on this so you can hear it. And yes, I will be letting you know what's going on. I got coffee for this because after we get through this video and we watch the Huell Hauser video, you're going to hear me, blowing a volcano from, the down under. Because I said I was the devil, right? Sorry, you're probably hearing my coffee rattling in the thing. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to put it over there. I put ice in it. I want it iced. So, okay. I'm going to quit rambling, and here we go. So, tell us about your experience, Allie Carter. Go.
A lot's about to come out. Another arrest is coming.
And trigger warning,
again.
guys. Trigger warning. She doesn't really go, she goes into some details, but there's just a few key things I wanted you to hear. So trigger warning, and I talk a lot about traumatic things on my channel. So if you can't hear things about little things crimes that happen against children that we're going to be cleansing the earth of, by spreading awareness about the degeneracy and, looking at facts and evidence and history to do it. So trigger warning, if not, I get it. There's a lot of other great vlogs and happy content on this platform. And that's what's great about YouTube, is there's millions of channels. I think even billions of channels. So, raw. Here we go. That was your trigger warning. And yeah, because this is gonna go deep. This is gonna go deep. And don't worry, I will be keeping it clean because, well, you know, Daddy Google is listening to us.
And watch for those fires. Explosions make fires too. Explosions make accidental fires too. And then, oops, we don't know how that happened. And then you look into it and you see that it's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to trafficking. And then you realize, oh, it wasn't just an explosion or a fire.
That was kind of how I felt when I watched the Huell Hauser video. That I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, you'll see. So let's get through this.
It wasn't an accident. How many things does it take? If people can get in the streets over a convict, why the hell can't people get in the streets over the children? What is going to fuel your rage?
I agree with this statement. If you look at our judicial system, sorry, I have processing problems when it comes to pronouncing words with lots of syllables in them. So when it comes to our judicial system, if you look at how some people, their conviction and sentencing is for child crimes, they're actually not as high. Like and I have to use schmurder. For schmurder of a child, it's usually the sentencing is not as high as an adult if you look at it. Like, start paying attention to some of those things. Now, recently, we have seen a lot of people go away for life and stuff for you know that. But for a while, sorry, I don't know why my screen does that sometimes. Sometimes it bloops. It's because I have two monitors up. Technology, raw. Anyways, so back to this. So yeah, I agree with this. It sometimes feels like people don't seem to care much about children, and we should, because children, you know, they say, oh, children are the future, you know, and it sounds all corny and stuff, and it just sounds like a song. Well, it's actually true. It's true, because who is going to be a doctor when you're gone? Who's going to be running, you know, the important things in the world, like governments and fire departments and police and infrastructures and, you know, all that stuff? Who's going to be running it? Well, the children of today will become adults someday. It just seems like 1 + 1 = 2. Some people say 1 + 1 = 3, but if you know, you know. Yeah. We'll get into that much later on as we go through this series. So yeah, back to Allie.
For the children, why are you waiting on a release to fuel your rage? People should be like, what the? We're talking about kids?
Right.
Huh? What? No. Somebody better answer something.
Right.
How many more kids do you need? How many more need to be swept under the rug? How many more need to be silenced for you to say, oh, enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either.
It's all of our war. What are you going to do to fight?
Okay, so it's showing some stuff here about, like, and we'll get into the Playboy Mansion and all this stuff in later streams, because this is a lot of shit. It's a lot. Sorry, I'm going to try not to cuss as much for the stream, but
there are underground tunnels that are under the schools, elementary, junior, and high schools all over the place.
Remember this, under schools, because I'm going to show you what she's talking about later on when she means under schools. I actually found what she is talking about. Don't be scared for me, guys. Remember, I told you who I am, right? I'm right here on screen. But she's right. These tunnels that used to be connected to the Pacific Electric Railway, and they also had a lot of service tunnels that were off these main tunnels, like sub-tunnels for the service workers. Like, and then smaller tunnels so you could get to other tunnels. So there is a whole network. So I've been trying, eventually on a stream we'll try to go over it, but I've been trying to find the old blueprints for this system. I think that'll be interesting.
They exist everywhere.
You've been in
I'm
them.
sorry?
You've seen these? Been in these?
Yes.
Where do
Yes,
they lead?
They lead to amusement parks. They lead to hospitals, cemeteries, schools, celebrity homes,
We're gonna
psychic shops.
We're going to talk about these celebrity homes. This is true. Back in the early 1900s during Prohibition, when it was illegal to drink alcohol, a lot of people still did it, especially out here in California in entertainment. You guys ever heard of William Randolph Hearst? He owned Hearst Castle, and he was a big newspaper tycoon. Here's some more history for you guys. Educational stream. Educational. Raw, right? Let me take a sip of coffee. Educational stream. Okay. So, during William Randolph Hearst, he didn't like people drinking because he thought like people just partied too much at it when they stayed at his big castle. If you ever see that property, maybe we'll do a stream about that eventually. I love that property. I've done tours of Hearst Castle. It's amazing if anybody has seen it. So maybe eventually we'll do a Hearst Castle stream because there's some stuff there too. But anyways, so yeah, he would ban people who would sneak in alcohol to his castle and stuff. But over in Hollywood, you know, people still wanted to party, right? Like, even though like Hearst, you know, a billionaire told them like, don't bring alcohol to my mansion, man, my castle. I don't want you drinking here. It's illegal. People still did it. People like Orson Welles did it. And then Orson Welles, remember what I was telling you in my vlog about how back in the day, because there was no social media, there, you know, all we had were basically newspapers. And you really, after yellow journalism, which was when people used to make up stories and put them in the newspaper, you couldn't put fake stories in the newspaper. So one of the ways billionaires and industry tycoons would shade each other and other people in like industries would do it through movies, songs, comic book strips. When television came around, they did it in that. Because they didn't have social media. So Stanley Kubrick would use other stories and then input his own stories in there, his own messages to shade people to let them know, I know the dirty things you're doing in Hollywood. It's amazing, right? So, Orson Welles went on to make Citizen Kane, and Citizen Kane was about William Randolph Hearst, and it made fun of him. It made fun of his mistress that he had living at Hearst Castle. While he was still married, his wife, I think she lived on the East Coast, and there was like stories about Hearst and, you know, like how his wife would come to visit and he'd have to send the mistress down to the LA house, the Hollywood house or something to stay. And she'd get mad about that. Yeah. So yeah, during that time there was Prohibition. And so a lot of people who were, you know, Hollywood stars and stuff, when they built their Beverly Hills mansions, they built what they called Prohibition tunnels. Prohibition tunnels. We actually, I'm out in the, where Coachella happens, and there was a bar out here that has a old tunnel. It's plugged up now, where you could crawl into and then stand up, and it went over to like a resort that is now like, I think, an old folks home or some shit. I don't remember, but yeah, so there were Prohibition tunnels. They were a thing. I have a whole playlist. Maybe we'll go into that. But there are a lot of these houses in Hollywood that have these Prohibition tunnels. And with the right equipment, you could probably retrofit those tunnels to hook up into other tunnels. And then we don't know where they came out at. They might have been a way to hook up into other pedestrian walkways. And that'll be something we can explore as we go back into history. So we're going to go back to Ally Carter. But just put a note in that these tunnels, it's plausible that, yeah, what she's talking about, I'm pretty sure what I found is the tunnel by the school she's talking about.
They lead everywhere.
You mentioned in one of your previous interviews that it's like a whole other world down there. Can you describe it to us? What happens down there?
Take note of some of this.
Yes, there's every means of transportation. There's every walk of life. There's
take note of the transportation.
There's cities. There's different air supply. There's
take note of the air supply.
At 15, my pimp put me on an order to go to the Getty, Los Angeles, California Museum.
I want you to remember this word order, okay? I want you to remember her saying order, okay? Just remember this because this is going to be important later on.
Los Angeles, California Museum.
And we're going to look into Getty Museum too. It's very interesting. History.
Told I was going to walk through a field trip.
Take note of the field trip. Take note of the field trip, okay? Take note of buses, okay? Put a pin in that because it's going to come up later on. Threads of truth.
I was taken with another girl. I call a friend of mine, and we were put in dresses and sandals. We were taken in a sports car. We're not taken in a sports car. We were
awareness is going to help.
We pulled up to the museum in a sports car. We were told that we were trying to give a different appearance. So we were walking through, I remember walking through kids. I remember walking in and seeing school buses. I remember walking in and seeing children and chaperones through the museum. And I remember people staring at us as if it was as if we were somebody special. We walked through the museum. There are, employees that know exactly what's going on in the museum. They block the doors. They
take note of like these employee things and stuff. So like basically she's talking about how she went on this field trip and whatnot. So we're going to listen to this a little bit more.
Know where the entrances and exits are. They take their orders from someone else.
Orders?
When someone is trying to get underground through the Getty Los Angeles Museum. I was walked through. I remember taking stairs, going through a garden, taking an elevator.
Remember the garden? Yeah. Getty has that. Yeah. Just remember all this. Remember all this.
I was drugged, but I was walking. There are many situations in trafficking where you can be alert. Some of my pimps did not let me see where I was going. Sometimes I was so drugged that I was carried into a job, dressed, and then placed in a room and waiting for my order because I couldn't move myself. So
she keeps repeating this word, order. I want you to remember that word. This is very important.
At this time, I was able to walk. I was able to see what was going on. And I remember walking through. I remember talking to certain people after we got so far. I remember my ears popping. I remember
Remember the ears popping and stuff, because as you go underground, like you're going underground, and because of the oxygen and the pressure, it's going to change, and it is going to pop your ears. So it's a little bit of science education for you guys. Science. But yeah, the reason why the air is different going under is because as you go underground, there's no oxygen. You're not outside. So remember that, the oxygen, and how she felt like there was a lack of oxygen as she was in there. And that actually could have played a role on her being kind of, you know, sometimes when we remember things, especially when we were a kid, the way we remember it might sound a little more fanciful than it actually was. But I mean, too, I've never seen any of these places deep underground like that. But let's just say, like, they're, you know, like they have to put the oxygen down there and have these oxygen machines, which, you know, a lot of casinos have those. Those are a real thing, to bring oxygen and pump them in, so that, like, because when you go underground, there's no oxygen. And then there's also, too, in LA, there's a lot of, like, you know, methane pockets and old oil deposits and stuff like that. So just remember this. Her ear popping was because she was going underground. And remember that when we get to the heel house.
Feeling like I'm choking because the air was so weird. We got to a certain point and there was, it looked like a basement. It looked like where they keep things that were not public display in the museum. And after getting so far, we were in tunnels. We were put on cars, drove to a certain point, bar. I seen I seen cars, boats, there's trains, there's buses, there is every means of transportation under the ground. There's a city under the ground. There's a different air supply that kicks in after you get so low.
And who goes down there?
Okay. Remember the city thing? And listen to this next part she's about to say, because there are some threads of truth here too.
After getting down there, I talked to a few people. I was able to meet celebrities, actors. I'm not a person that knows somebody just by name or by face or by
celebrities and actors.
Right away. I was somebody who remembered somebody from a movie or something like that, or something that they did. I was able to speak with somebody that was so cocky. And I remember telling him, I know you from Look Who's Talking. That's all. And I remember everybody laughing at me because I was 15 and I'm like, the only thing that I know you from, John Travolta, is Look Who's Talking. I know there were many comedians, Kathy Griffin.
That's interesting.
Robin Williams. I was on an order for Joe Biden. I was taken to somewhere where there were there was an orgy party. There was a contest going on. There's a certain part that has a shrine where I was taken.
I think this is as far as we go, because she starts getting into some of the darker stuff. And you already heard the one thing, and I don't know how YouTube's gonna like that, but yeah, she's talking about going underground and stuff, right? So she's about to, yeah. That's as far as we need to go for what we're going to listen to next. Okay, so I'll swing this back over here. There's the Desert Mermaid. I'm going to bring this over here. And Huell Hauser is going to show us the Pacific Electric Railway Company's terminal in LA. So now this terminal is in LA. Let me see. I forget. I had it up here. The terminal is in LA. I think yes, it's 417 South Hill Street in Los Angeles. So I'm not doxing the building. It's a public building, okay? Like you can go to it. You could schedule tours. People do tours, and we'll get into the tours and stuff. Maybe I have to go take a tour of this subway tunnel, you know? Maybe I need to go check this out. The devil, right? It's underground. So yeah, this terminal opened in 1925. And it was the main station for the Los Angeles Red Cars. So, yeah. We're going to listen to Huell Hauser. Hopefully, I don't get dinged for this because this is a PBS thing. So, we're gonna go through this. I could speed him up. But he is gold. He's California gold to listen to. So Huell Hauser, he did a series, California Gold. They were all on PBS, public access. So hopefully they'll allow me public access, you know, educational purposes, transformative. I'm invoking the fair use gods. So, okay. So here we go. So Huell Hauser, he lived out here where I am in the Palm Springs area, and he hosted this series, and everybody loved him because he did the whole, that's amazing, and he was just so animated and fun, as you're going to see here. So we're going to listen to Huell Hauser here. Up the volume. Here we go.
Visiting with Huell Hauser is made possible through a generous grant from the Ralph M. Parsons Foundation.
Hopefully they don't ding me.
Hi, I'm Huell Hauser, and right now I'm standing in the middle of the street here at 4th and Hill. And
so this was visiting with Huell Hauser. He did several, you know, of these. So look at this building. So a few things. This building, the terminal, off of it was a building, and it had a bunch of like office buildings and stuff. One thing that happened was in this office building was a club. It was an all-men's club that was racist, anti-Semitic, and didn't allow women. They didn't even allow women on the same floor as their certain men in their club. A really weird club. It was called the Jonathan Club. I can't remember, but we'll probably be looking into that because they're still around, and they had a scandal with it too. So if you want me to, we can go into that as well. Like there's all kinds of caveats and avenues we can go down. But so today we are looking at this building with Huell.
Downtown Los Angeles. That's the California Plaza back there, those beautiful big modern glass buildings.
That's a nice
but
building.
But we are not here to do a story about the new buildings. We are here to do a story about this wonderful old building right here.
Wait. Look how excited these men are.
The subway terminal building, which has been a...
Okay, so I want you to remember schools. See this right down here? Schools, guys. Remember that? Buses, children. Now, I know that I've found that they do tours. They do tours here. So maybe there was a school tour going on, but as we go through this tour with Huell Hauser, and you could say maybe because he was filming for television, but where are these students here visiting? Where are they? They're visiting this boarded up building. Remember, this video is from like the early 2000s. Can't actually remember, but we'll look it up after the video. But yeah, where are they? Where are the children? So remember what Ali said, you know, children, buses. Interesting, right? Okay, we're going to keep going.
Fixture here in downtown Los Angeles for over 50, 60, 70 years now. Actually, it's boarded up now, but we're going to be able to get inside. Here are our tour guides right here. Your name, sir?
Irv Erlinson with General Services.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice
Bruce
to meet
Frenzinger,
you.
historian. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice
Jeffrey
to
Weldon,
meet you.
City
History,
of LA.
educational.
And Bill Stauber, City of LA.
City of LA, what does that mean?
Well,
Here's the other thing. This subway terminal is also in the financial district of LA. So right down the street, you got major banks. Bank of America, I believe, has a huge building. So remember, there's financial, lots of money's people in this neighborhood. Think about that, okay? Just remember that. This is in the financial district of Los Angeles.
we're affiliated. We're part of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power.
Okay, good. We're going to find out what each of them has to offer this tour in just a moment. Bruce, we'll start with you. Fill us in a little bit, and Louis, we can get kind of a shot of it behind Bruce while he's talking to us. Tell us a little bit about the old, what is called the subway terminal building.
Okay, this originally was the site of the, going back to 1908, this was the site of a lean-to train station. It was over here where this parking lot was.
Oh, really?
And it was the terminus.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, that is the old train yard station before they built the subway terminal in the ground below in the early 1900s. So in the early 1900s in Los Angeles, they're building all these subway tunnels and these pedestrian walkways, and they have to have service tunnels so they can maintain these all over the place, all over. See my cursor? All over. History. This is real, educational. Okay?
For the Los Angeles and Pacific Railroad, which operated lines all on the west side of Los Angeles. Well, by 1916, they redeveloped the train station here, servicing lines, but it became so congested, operating over 450 trains a day, that plans were set in motion to make a new train station on this side of town.
There's that building. So this building is where that Jonathan Club was. There was a lot of financial offices and things in this building at the time, but this is where, this is where the Jonathan Club was. And there was also a hotel attached to this as well. So, yeah, this is all real.
Building was built in 1925, not only to be an office building, but to be kind of a terminal building for the old electric cars.
That's correct. Yep. And they actually dug.
And actually, these old electric cars, I don't know if they still have them, but supposedly they were all sent to what they call Terminal Island. Sounds like it's in Long Beach from when I was looking at my research. So, yeah, they were actually really, really cool train cars.
A subway line into this building, which is over a mile long.
Now, see, you gave away our secret, because what we were going to say was, we're not here to do a story about the building. We're here to do a story about what's under the building, because most of us think that the metro, the Red Line, is the first subway that's being built here in LA today. Actually, we had a subway here in LA.
Right, so there's a new subway, the subway that runs, now in LA. But there was this subway. And isn't this so fun, how Huell Hauser, he's just freaking geeked over this. It almost felt like, what did he know? He's just, these men are just yeah, we're going to see the tunnel. I'm a historian. This is what happened. This is the dates, blah, blah, blah. And Huell is just pointing out all this stuff. And here's this bus back here. It's just, he's just geeked. And it's almost like he knew something, and he went all over California. He saw a lot of things, and he worked for, it showed that foundation that sponsored this series. So, I mean, what was Huell Hauser trying to tell us?
back in the 1920s.
20s. That's right.
Wow.
And it's still down there, and that's what we're going to go see. The traffic is let up, so we're going to jaywalk quickly across the street to the subway terminal building. We have gotten the manager of the building to open it up for us because nobody's in there these days. It's all boarded up.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I like. Did you love how he pointed that out? This guy's shirt is interesting to me, and this is how I link Lana Del Rey. I know you're gonna be like, how did you link Lana Del Rey with this guy's shirt? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna have to fix that because that is really annoying that it keeps doing that. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I hate that. Might be because I have all these little. I don't know. I'll fix that because that is really freaking annoying. I'm sorry. It's like every time that happens, take a sip of water and you'll have your whole gallon of water gone for the day, right? You'll probably have water poisoning as well. So maybe not do that, but like every time it seems to blip, it's like we should like drink our water or something because damn. So this guy's shirt, I'm going to show you his shirt. Let me pull up my pictures. So this guy was wearing a shirt. Where is this shirt? Because I actually used, you know what's nice about technology and having, the internet and stuff nowadays is we got things like Google reversed image to look up fun stuff on the internet and find out where it comes from. So this is what this guy is wearing. Move over. Oh, I gotta undo the full screen. That would help. Exit full screen. Oh, okay. There's the Mermart. It's still there. Okay. So, he was wearing, I think you can see it, this Royal Hawaiian shirt. And it had this on it. And I'm like, Dole? You mean like Dole Pineapple when you look this up? This is who this is for. This is the trademark symbol for Dole Produce Company, which is ran by the Murdoch family. And the Murdoch family is really big into pushing plant-based diets. Well, gee, I wonder why. Maybe because they have a vested interest in that. So, the father who runs the Dole Pineapple Empire, let me see, where is his full name? David Murdoch. And his son is Justin Murdoch. So Justin... So David Murdoch, and he's a big health freak. He loves pushing this plant-based diet. I'm also wondering now if maybe there's a reason why we see all these studies about how pineapple is just so healthy for you in so many ways. You know how like every couple years you see a study that comes out? Well, usually there's a reason why, and it has to do with that somebody's funding it for their purposes. Like usually we see a study like that and we just go, ooh, that means this is healthy. Like, you remember back in the day, and this might show my age a little bit, but that there was a study that came out that said chocolate was healthy for your heart, like dark chocolate. Well, then everybody used it as an excuse to eat dark chocolate, which sounds really good, right? Well, I mean, yeah, so maybe there's a reason why he's pushing the plant-based diet. I'm not going to go down that road. There's a lot of people that have conspiracies. I'm not supposed to say that word, but about that. We're just here to look at, like, the facts and educate ourselves and think about this rationally and use our critical thinking skills for ourselves and maybe use this as a think tank to say if we believe that this is true or not based off of the facts we are seeing. So this is what this dude was wearing, and he runs this building. I guess he's the maintenance dude or something. He's going to talk more. And yeah, so he was wearing this Dole Pineapple shirt. So, okay, Justin Murdoch, he is a CEO of a company, and how do I put this? He is CEO of a pharmaceutical company, and we'll get into all that. And he is actually CEO of the company that created semaglutide, okay? One thing in looking back at him, he also has a criminal record where of DV with a girlfriend. And when looking at that, I found out that here's our connection, guys. He dated Lana Del Rey for several years. Actually, there's a whole thing, we'll look at it, but he dated Lana Del Rey. So, you know what, we'll just do this now. Where is this page? So, I found this nice little web thing, and it shows, here's Justin. So, this is Justin Murdoch, and he was, I think, older than her. See, there they are. They started dating in 2012 around the time Lana Del Rey's career took off. We'll get into this. We'll get into some of the history of the places her and him would visit and how they relate to this. But they dated for quite a while. And before that, he dated Avril Lavigne. But from 12 to, look, see, this is one of the girls, Eastwood. Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, he dated Lana, and after that, that was around the time her career started to take off. And a lot of the places they hung out, a lot of industry people hang out. So we're going to talk about all that. So threads, you putting the puzzle pieces together a little bit. You're kind of connecting the dots. Are we kind of putting a quilt together, like we're weaving threads of truth? We're building a truth quilt. We're building a nice, beautiful truth quilt, right? Lots of truthful colors in it, right? So many colors, so truthful. Love it. So, yeah, she dated him. And he's not good. He's no bueno. He's not a good person. Yeah. And so his dad, he's the CEO of the company that is the pharmaceutical company that does semaglutide, which is like Ozempic. And side note, remember during Coachella how there was that whole controversy in the tabloid type news that Lana got skinny for Coachella? I know, skinny, I hate that, right? We should just worry about her being healthy and having a healthy body and functioning organs and not being in pain and suffering. But no, it's about how you look, not about how you feel. It should matter more about how you feel, and part of that is having a healthy body. But anyways, so they were saying she got slim for Coachella with Ozempic, and they were like, making fun of that and all that. And it kind of was one of the things that overshadowed her Coachella performance. The other thing that also kind of overshadowed her Coachella performance was the fact that I think she had some producers or something quit on her. And we'll look into that maybe in the next stream or something. I'll find that and write that down. But yeah, so So, I think that was that was created to shade her. I really do, because she used to date him. That is just a theory of mine, but for educational purposes, his dad runs Dole Pineapple, the Dole company, produce company, who wants you to eat plant-based because, well, that gives them more monies, right? Yeah, the guy that's about to give us a tour with Huell Hauser, he's wearing their shirt. Coincidence? You tell me in the comments. Is this a coincidence?
Huell Hauser.
Graciano.
Nice to meet you, and you're going to kind of let us through the locked doors here.
Sure.
Hi.
Here we go. Come on in, fellas.
Konnichiwa.
We're going to go in and see one of probably the least known facts about
he's like,
Los Angeles
okay, get in there,
transportation
guys.
history. Our subway from the 1920s.
Yes, history, educational stream,
This is
educational.
an absolutely beautiful library.
Here's some more education. See this right here? This is the thinking man. This thinking man, shoot. While I babble on here, I'm going to tell you. So this Thinking Man statue, I don't know if this is a bronze statue. It looks bronze. I couldn't find too much about it, but the Thinking Man, the original Thinking Man statue was actually casted, and there was actually several copies made in, I forget what year. We're going to find out. Have them somewhere. There we go. Oh, these casts are expensive. One went up at Christie's for 14 million euro. What is that in dollars? I don't know. I need to learn that financial conversions. Get used to wearing an app. So the Thinker was made by Augustus Rodin. Educational Stream, I told you, right? So the statue, the original was made by Augustus Rodin. It's called the Thinker, and it was made in 1904, okay? Let's see. He did a lot of stuff like The Gates of Hell, and a lot of his stuff is like in French. I think the original is in a French museum. So they made casts of this statue. So, let's see. Why are they giving me older dates? Year 1904. Maybe that's one of the casts. Because it's an old statue. The Thinker. Oh, the Thinker. Here we go. So I'm looking at Wikipedia on another page on my phone. But the Thinker was initially named the poet. And it was commissioned in 1880. And they made casts of it starting in 1884. So they decided to make copies of this and sell it, right? So one of them is in the National Gallery in Melbourne, Australia. So shout out to anybody listening from Australia. You guys got one of these, the casts of the original Thinker. So I think and they said these casts, they casted them in many different sizes. And so, yeah, there's about 28 of them. And I think this might be one of these statues of the Thinker. And one of the things about Rodin was that he was actually accused of not actually sculpting his art. I forget what the name was, if I can find it here, but they actually were accusing him of casting in like clay or wax people body parts, and people and or body parts, and then making a statue out of that, because they said his stuff just looked too real to actually be something that someone sculpted. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so we'll have to look into that, but there's some threads of truth here. Back to Huel.
Here, where are you going to take us first?
How about the waiting room?
Let's go to the waiting room, yes.
So this is where they would come to buy their tickets, wait for the train. Okay. And it's still here after all these years?
Wow.
Wow.
That's a really, really nice building.
Ah.
Wow, that's really nice. It's a really, really nice building. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go back a little bit. I want to see this waiting room. It's really nice. Wow. Wow. Isn't that nice? It had like gold and marble, and look, they still keep it clean. Look, there's our Thinking Man again.
How about the waiting room?
The waiting room.
Look at that.
The waiting
look
room.
At all this.
So this is where they
Look at that archway. Isn't that a nice archway? It kind of looks Egyptian, doesn't it? That's a nice archway. But all this is like nice marble columns. And it's just sitting here in this boarded up building. Just sitting here with a yellow bus in front of it. Just chilling. No big deal. MBD.
Come to buy their tickets, wait for the train. Okay. And it's still here after all these years? Wow.
Yep,
ah.
Still here.
So underneath this drop ceiling
Isn't this nice
is the
ceiling?
original
waiting room.
I wish they still made stuff like this. Like, it seems like we put a little more effort into things back in the day, and then we just got cheaper about it because, you know, monies. But that's isn't that nice? It's kind of nice, like, you know, the tunnel under Ocean Boulevard nice, right? That's so nice.
Now, how do we know this was the waiting room? By looking at the ceiling.
Because this is the style that was used of the buildings in that day, of the 20s. And it was, of course, it was updated with the drop ceiling in later years.
It was updated, really? Why?
Well, now tell us what would have been going
There's
on.
no one in
here.
the building.
I think a lot of folks would just be congregating, waiting for their scheduled train.
I love how
probably
he's like,
carrying lots
what
of
do you
bags
think
and
might be
parcels
going
and,
on here?
Not unlike Union Station.
So, congregating and waiting in this waiting room. So, there's this waiting room here, right? And people are just congregating and waiting. Did you love how he's just like, so tell me about this room. Hey, elaborate on this room. And these guys are just like, yeah, I don't really want to be doing this. I don't know how much I should say.
Station, I would think,
Allegedly.
today with the waiting area. Pretty much just a common area for people to wait and before they went downstairs to meet their scheduled train.
Well,
what? What?
It's very ornate. Look up here, Louis.
They went downstairs. Pretty much just a common area for people to wait and before they went downstairs to meet their scheduled train.
Okay. Let's continue.
Well, it's very ornate. Look up here, Louis, at the columns, the work that was done on it. It's amazing that this has survived
very,
over the
very
years.
amazing.
Yeah, it really is, especially since at one time it's
Beautiful.
obviously been converted to a more modern setting.
And see, I would never know where we were going or what we were heading toward if we didn't have a Graciano here with us.
Yeah. We like him. He's awesome.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. I
Okay,
can't
here we
wait.
go.
Can you look? There's a yellow line here, so you don't get lost
Boy,
either.
this is a tight fit.
See, that's when I really took a
Through
look
here.
at this, and I was like, what? Oh, wow.
Now,
look
what's
at all
down
this,
here?
guys.
The maintenance shaft.
So the maintenance shaft's over here. So all of this over here, guys, was all like maintenance stuff. But look, they're still using it. They're still doing stuff. Remember start unpinning all the things I told you about Allie Carter.
Job for the trains, and we're getting closer to the tunnel.
To the actual tunnel itself.
The tunnel.
Watch your step up there. There's one missing.
Oh, I hate that.
Now, it is dark down here.
Yeah.
Now, this is all original stuff down here?
It is original, yes. We have the foreman's office.
The foreman's office.
The foreman's office. This is going to be important, guys. Ding, ding, ding.
Go on in and take a look, Louis.
Wow. So we're about to go into the foreman's office. I want you to really take a look in this room. And remember what Allie Carter was telling us.
Wow. The name is still on the door.
Look, it looks nice. Doesn't that look nice and new still? Terminal Foreman's Office. Wow.
Yeah, original doors.
Can we go inside?
Wow, that's nice.
Sure.
That's nice.
I half expect him to still be in here. Oh,
maybe.
Wow. Oh.
Wow. So take a gander here. What are all these little rooms? It's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird. And it's very kind of oddly clean in here, too, in a way. Like, I thought it would be more dirty in here and scary. But it's kind of oddly clean, isn't it? This is interesting, isn't it? So we've got all these little rooms. Let's keep going.
Look over here.
Look over here, guys.
This is the
What's going on over here?
What would this have been over here?
This was more or less a baggage handling area and another ticketing window.
I think it's where the trainmen pick up their train orders.
What was that? What did they do here? Let's go back. What did they do? What did they pick up here?
What would this have been over here?
This was more or less a baggage handling area and another ticketing window.
I think it's where the trainmen pick up their train orders.
The train orders.
Because each operator and conductor and motorman of each train had to pick up their orders.
Orders! 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 Ding, 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 ding. Threads of truth. This is educational. This is a fact. Back in the day, they called picking up orders. Now, a lot of times, people will adopt old verbiage for new things so you don't know what's going on if you were to hear picking up an order. Well, that just sounds normal, right? But if you really know, based off of what Allie Carter said, what an order is, and then you hear this, and they're saying order, but order in a tunnel that is abandoned now, but it looks kind of oddly clean in here, like there's some dust there, but excuse me? What's going on over here? And there's little rooms off this. Now, they were probably offices back in the day, but hearing the word order, having these little rooms, it's about to get weirder. Here we go.
For that particular train.
Buckle up.
So this is where the workmen themselves would come in.
That's right.
The engineers, the trainmen.
Trainmen, motormen, and conductors.
This is amazing that this is just like it was.
Oh, yeah.
This is
it's
amazing,
kind of interesting,
isn't it?
this wall here, and I may be mistaken, but I understood that that was for passing through larger parcels. They could actually open this wall.
I bet it was for larger parcels. Take a look at this, guys.
Pass larger items through the wall.
Larger items that
where
might
it would be taken down to the trains and handled that way.
Handled that way? Did you see how this guy, did you just see how this guy explained that? We're going to... Wow. I'm just, I gotta take a minute to look around because, wow, I'm having another one of those moments where I'm like, is this real? This is really happening. Wow.
Amazing that this is just like it was.
Oh, yeah, and it's kind of interesting, this wall here, and I may be mistaken, but I understood that that was for passing through larger parcels. They could actually open this wall up and pass larger items through the wall.
Check this wall
to
out.
where it would be taken down to the trains and handled that way.
Let's open that up and take a look.
Yeah, I love how Huel's like, let's check this out. Can we look at that? Now, I know he's probably just doing his job, but, like, the way he's just, like, and he was always like this, but still, it's just,
Because also they operated
What?
LCL
What?
passenger freight service out of here too.
I can get my voice pretty high there.
Oh, wow.
What?
And this is...
Wow. Look at... Why does it seem... If this was closed like years and decades ago, why is the paint new here? Why does it look all nice? Like, that looks nice. Take a sip of water every time it does that. Why? Why? Why does it look new? This is so clean. Look, you could tell he's not happy to be doing this tour either. This poor guy.
This is where they would keep... I'm going to turn on my lights so Louis can see back here.
I'd love to see back there, too.
This is where they would keep...
Let's check this out, guys.
The baggage.
A lot of your larger items, larger quantities of items, things would be taken through this room and handled that way. You can see it's a rather large room, and it passes off through this door into another large room, as I recall.
Really?
Well,
This is for car assignments.
This is what?
See, you'd put these...
We what?
Well, we
awestruck.
This is
They
what?
are awestruck.
See, you
Just like,
put this held cards, and the foreman would update the cards, turn it around.
shouldn't that be full of like spiders and stuff like that since this is old? I know that they're giving this tour and everything, and they probably do, but like this is really clean for being abandoned, isn't it? I get it. They opened it up for tours eventually, but that was not then. Why does this look like this? And are there more of these? Remember, this is just the one terminal, and I told you there's a lot of maintenance shit around here, so let's keep going.
So the trainmen could pick up their orders and car assignments, and this is their cards. Were kept in this case.
Sort of double duty, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah. What orders? I bet there's a place with orders like that somewhere else today. Allegedly.
Well, let's go on. It's getting hot down here too, isn't it? I guess there's no air conditioning in this building anymore.
No air conditioner, no air ventilation.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Here we go, guys.
This is the never-ending quest in search of the subway tunnel.
Right.
Now, this has been blocked off down here.
Yeah, they built this wall after they stopped the cars.
They did.
I think
Where did that go? See, that was blocked off. So what's behind this? You see what I'm saying? There's levels. There's tunnels to this.
Oh,
Look at the tunnels.
this is it.
Yeah, this is it, Hugh.
Oh,
My
boy.
God. Wow.
This is it, isn't it?
It is. This is
No, it is dirty down here, but this is the bottom of the tunnel. They dug it out, so, you know.
the tunnels where the train used to arrive from Glendale or,
This is it.
Wow.
This is where it all happened.
This is where
Now,
it all
what are we
happened,
looking at
right?
We're on one of the platforms looking.
This was the platform where people got on and off the
That's correct.
trains.
And it's all been filled in where the tracks where the camera is. And this, it's on out the subway terminal. That's the subway
amazing.
right on out there.
Wow. How far back does that actually go? And if it is plugged up, what's behind it? Where does it go?
This is the tunnel.
That's the tunnel. And the trains came in and out this way. And then this structure in the middle is the train master.
Well, let's go take a look here. Sure. This is...
Remember, he's mentioning also the air conditioning and it being hot and the air being thin down there. Remember what Allie Carter was saying? The air was thin.
This is an amazing thing to see.
This is amazing.
Now, what would have been going on down here?
He would actually, at the peak of the operation of this terminal, there was over 880 trains a day operated in and out of this particular switching. This was all track and switches in this area. And with that many trains coming in and out every day, it was a very busy and responsible job to see that all of the trains got to their correct tracks, because 2 tracks came in, were branched into 5 tracks at the platforms to load the passengers for the various destinations.
It's very educational. So all the tracks are gone. They probably took it all out for scrap. A lot of times, because this was built before World War II, when World War II hit, they used a lot of stuff. Like, they broke down a lot of stuff. Like, they said that if the, I think it was the Hindenburg, hadn't exploded, but, gone boom, boom, it hadn't had its accident, it probably would have been broken down for scrap metal, because a lot of air blimps, a lot of things were broken down for scrap metal and stuff during World War II. So that might be likely where the train tracks went. But the research I did said the train cars are at Terminal Island, if they're still around. Maybe they refurbished them. I hate that it keeps doing that. I know it has to do with the way my monitor's set up. Okay.
Now look at this tunnel down here. I don't know.
This light down
How
here.
far
That's
does
weird.
this thing go?
Yeah.
This goes over a mile, or did. It's been filled in.
It did go over a mile? What do you mean over a mile?
So how many tracks would have been running through
Right here, there was 2 tracks, and it
Wow,
had
that's
safety
cool.
blocks safety signals all the way out to the end of the tunnel. And of course, these lines ran to...
Wow, that's cool. So, look how far back, and look, and then you have stairs up here. You have all these little tunnels, and then I'm sure you got other service tunnels and other little, like, service area tracks. So, some of this, it might be walled up, but it is still in use, and Huell's going to point out why it's, who's been using this tunnel.
Signals all the way out to the end of the tunnel. And of course, these lines ran to Glendale, Van Nuys,
train school,
Hollywood, the Hollywood.
That's interesting. Fly Navy. Wow, that is cool though. It looks cool, but Fly Navy? How neat, but wow. Look at that. They're all still there.
Avenue line, and then they also had a line ran to Santa Monica and West Hollywood, ran through here.
Wow.
Now, the pumps are operating down here. And
pumps. So, yeah, because of the water and stuff like that, they had to run these pumps, as he's going to explain.
This is where our friend from the Department of General Services comes in.
Right. There's always been a groundwater problem here, so these pumps were put in.
Well, now we know there's really going to be a groundwater problem because of all the fires in LA and the ash. If you guys are out there, make sure you're drinking bottled water. You're not even supposed to really be bathing in it and whatnot, so just be careful, like, because it's now contaminated. This guy's probably not even around anymore to have to take care of any of that.
And even after the abandonment of the facility, the water still precludes, so we have to maintain the pumps to keep the water out of the tunnel area.
Now, does the city have jurisdiction over all of this now?
Just the tunnel itself. The tunnel belongs, or was deeded to the city. The other properties belong to, I believe it's the Subway Corporation.
Wow. Let's go back, because this is important. History, educational.
To maintain the pumps to keep the water out of the tunnel area.
Now, does the city have jurisdiction over all of this now?
Just the tunnel itself.
Just the tunnel itself. Remember all the... I'm not making this political. They're just facts that there's been a lot of corruption in the history of the LA city. Just saying. Remember this.
The tunnel belongs, or was deeded to the city. The other properties belong to, I believe it's the Subway Corporation.
Who's the Subway Corporation? I'll have to look into that more. I started to look into it, but who's this Subway Corp? Who are these people? I love how he just looks over and he's like, I don't know. What?
Whoever that is.
The private corporation that owns the building.
That's correct.
So there's private corporations that own the property these tunnels are in and on, but supposedly the tunnels itself are owned by the city, which probably means, and I'll try to translate this for you, it probably means is that the city, your tax dollars in LA are probably used to maintain the tunnels because, well, it's their property. But whoever has the access points, they probably get access to the tunnels too. Did you know there are tunnels under LA? Yeah.
Well, what's down here? We own it. We want to know.
Just the tunnel, as you're looking at right here now, all reinforced concrete tunnel, runs approximately a little over a mile out to the other end. About midway, it's penetrated, so it's sealed from either end. You have to either enter from the Glendale side or from this side.
There's other access points. There are other access points. So he's talking about all the little access points
to get to the center of it.
Well, let's walk down just a little bit here and get a look. Boy, you can hear the water.
Also, too, think about this. This water could be taking, these pipes and stuff could actually be taking water somewhere else. These pumps are used to pump water out of areas that they want to build things underground or put other pipes or infrastructure. Use your mind. Use your brain, connect the dots. Some of these things can be used to bring water to other areas. So, raw.
Seeping down here.
Very interesting. When you rode on the trains in this, you were going through this black tunnel, and you'd see these lights flashing by you as you went along. And of course, as a small child, I was horrendously fascinated by.
That seems horrifying, actually, as a child. Like, why are you talking about this thing you saw as a child and it was fascinating? That sounds horrifying. I'd be scared. That sounds like that scene in Willy Wonka when they go in that tunnel. That was scary. That does not sound fascinating.
By it, and they were inside these little alcoves were here, and these are for the trainmen if you wanted to, was servicing the tracks, wanted to step out of the way.
Oh, well, so these little alcoves right here were so when the guys were servicing the trains, they didn't get ran over. That's nice. That was really nice. That was workers' comp. That was their way of safety back in the day. Just move into the alcove so you don't get hit by the train. Great, guys. Thanks.
They actually could step into one of these alcoves.
Oh, my God.
And they had these lights here.
See, now, you could tell, no one's been stepping there. Wow. No one's stepping there anymore, but it's like a death, like a coffin or something. Wow.
That illuminated
Scary.
this tunnel all the full distance.
So these were made for the trainmen to get into.
Well, duck out of the way and hold lights. Safety. Yeah,
Safety device.
Right. It was an escape route. In the event two cars would pass at the same time and they could get out.
An escape route? Is there another door there that we don't know about? Huh? That looks like you could. I'm going to suffocate there, man.
Out of the way.
Gives
Well,
me
let's keep on
claustrophobia.
going because this is the stuff I wanted to see. This is.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
neat down here.
Of course, the reason it's
You know
so
it's
high
good if
is
he's
you had
geeked.
the trains ran with overhead trolley wires, and they had to have room for the poles.
So this
Nice.
was done with electricity.
Yes.
Oh,
Electricity.
boy.
So there was a conspiracy theory. I know I shouldn't be saying this. Back in the day, this is history, that when they got rid of the electric train cars, they got rid of them because they wanted people to buy private vehicles, and it was going to help those guys in the industry. So it was kind of like getting one billionaire family, people in charge of one industry, which was like, oil and gas and, the car industry, like Ford and all them, getting together and trying to take the power from the railroad electric companies. The railroads were really big back in the day, too. So, remember, railroad tycoons and stuff? So, it was a thing.
What we're getting into here, we are sinking deep in mud here. This is...
Yeah, because of the water.
Now, are there any tracks or anything left at all?
I don't believe anything's left here but some of the roadbed materials you see, the rocks and
Like I told you,
what's
probably
left
got
of,
used
even the
as
ties are
scrap.
gone, the rails are gone, and basically we just have the rock material that was under the tracks. That's about all that's left.
Did you see the old bottles of booze there? So people are down there doing stuff. Look at that. I always love when these videos looking around. Look at this. What is this? What is in there? It's weird. I'm not
And
trying
basically
to
we
reach,
just have the
but
rock material.
look. So people are coming down there to partay. It looks like some old wine bottles there. Right? Maybe? Fancy. You drinking? A little train ride? A little drinky? That's interesting. Raw.
Material that was under the tracks. That's about all that's left.
Love how they're showing it too.
Wow. You really feel like you really get a sense of history here, don't you?
You really
History,
do. That was the main thing that impressed me when Jeff and I came down here a couple of years ago. As we were coming down through the different levels, it seemed every level we went down, we went back a little more in time. And when we finally hit this portion of the subway, you could almost feel the wind of the trains.
The wind of the train. You mean the air from where they're pumping in the air in the levels below? Is that what you're trying to tell us, man? Where have you been? Look at this guy smiling back here. He knows. What is going on here? This is weird. This is weird. This is why I had to stream this and I couldn't watch it alone. This is weird, guys. What are we talking about here?
Riding by and the buzz of the conversations going on.
Buzz?
It's an amazing piece of history.
Yeah, that's really why you and Jeff are here. Come over here, Jeff, and talk to us, because the two of you all just kind of explored this on your own, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
I bet you did explore this on your own. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Get it, get it, get it.
Our company used to occupy a building next door to the site.
Your company used to occupy a building next door. Cool.
Subway terminal building. And the reason we got interested in it to begin with was through a retired employee who had told us some stories about what was down here. And one of those stories had to do with some old automobiles that were kept.
Huh? There's some old automobiles down there? What were they be using for, huh? Why are there old automobiles down there still? What's going on there?
Down here. He accidentally discovered them when our company was moving to new facilities. He went in the basement to make one last search and found a door that led down into this area. And he had a light with him and shined the light through the area and saw these automobiles parked down in this
So the city used to store impounded, probably, cars down here after it went out of service as a railroad.
That's correct. That's our understanding. And Bill and I, of course, became interested and had to find out about this. So we came down on our lunch hour and did some exploring.
Was it legal for you all to be down here?
Oh, sure. We had our trusty companion that we have today with us, and he brought us down here. And you remember at that time the tunnel did go all the way through to the Glendale opening, so they just drive the cars back in here and store them. So we were
So what are these? I'm sorry. I'm hoping I can fix this so that we don't
expecting
have
to
this,
see
quiet. This thing going off anymore. It's bothering me, as you can tell, but okay. What about these cars? Are these are city cars?
And saw these automobiles parked down in this
So
these
the city
cars,
used to store impounded, probably, cars down here.
These are city cars? Oh, these are probably impounded cars? You actually don't know who the cars belong to? What are you doing down here? What is the city actually doing in those tunnels besides giving tours? Remember the school bus in front of the building, guys. What?
Here after it went out of service as a railroad.
That's correct. That's our understanding. And Bill and I, of course, became interested and had to find out about this. So we came down on our lunch hour and did some exploring.
Was it legal for you all to be down here?
Oh, sure. We had our trusty companion that we have today with us, and he brought us down here. And
it's legal. Oh, yeah, and our trusted companion. Yeah, Yeah.
And you remember at that time the tunnel did go all the way through to the Glendale opening, so they just drive the cars back in here and store them. So we were half expecting to see a 30s Buick or something sitting down here in a great gold mine, but we didn't find anything. It's long since gone.
Well, is anything down here anymore? Come on and tell us. Is there anything
what else is down
here? To our knowledge, there's nothing here at this point. Everything has been abandoned.
Right? It has it?
And then vacated. And so the only thing we're doing now, again, is attempting to keep it from flooding by keeping the pumps operating.
Because we're not going to walk all...
17. Yeah, there's a lot of these little things around here. It's really interesting.
All the way to the end. Louis, I'm going to turn my light on it down there.
Markers, but why do they still have that? What is this? What's that? What is all this stuff? How far does it go? Sorry, every time I see it, I'm like, what is this? What do you mean? And he's telling all this stuff, and I'm like, but this is insane.
The tunnel went a lot further, but it's been blocked off because of what?
Well,
Yeah, why is it blocked off? What's behind the wall, man?
I believe that's one of the bank buildings that's down.
One of the bank buildings blocked it off? And what is this? That looks like a vanity. Why is there an old vanity and what is going on here? Is that a door or like what is that?
Town here. I think it was back in around 1965 or 66 they penetrated the tunnel, and I believe that's part of their foundation system now that blocks the tunnel.
So
I'm sure it does. What about the other tunnels? It's a bank. There's a bank that owns property above the tunnels, and they have. That's great, guys. Remember, this is real educational.
Well, the idea is that the original tunnel has been chopped up now because when the big skyscrapers were built, their foundations went at least this far down.
Correct. That's
right. So that is true, but like these other, they're still there.
correct. And now the tunnel, like you say, has been sliced up and is no longer continuous.
Well, what's happening in the sections of the tunnel that have been blocked off forever?
Yeah. You see how he's just like poking? He's just poking. What's over there? What's going on, guys? Tell me more. Well, I want to know more too.
Well, right now they are using them for some movie shoots occasionally.
What?
And,
they're what? Remember what Allie Carter said?
What's happening in the sections of the tunnel that have been blocked off forever?
Well, right now they are using them for some movie shoots occasionally, and they film various episodes and different things going on.
How do you get...
Okay, so remember the actorbaun? Keep that. Remember that.
Down there, too.
From the way we came into this end and the other end, it's open at Glendale Boulevard.
No, but I mean the parts of the tunnel in between those two parts.
There is...
You get what he is getting at. What do you guys have hiding? He knows. Huelhauser knows. That's why he was just cheesing out the entire time he's going down here, because I feel like he knows, and he was poking at these guys. Because it's all weird. And the Hollywood thing and them still shooting movies down there, so they have access. These movie companies, these production companies, these movie set lots have access to these tunnels, guys. So that means, like, we're going to get an actorbaun. That could be a real deal. It could be one of these tunnels that have been refabricated so that Will Smith can take this tunnel and cut out some traffic. That's a real thing.
There's no parts in between. It's just one section's blocked off.
Uh-huh.
It's about midway through the tunnel.
Now, didn't we have a debate earlier on about how long this tunnel is?
Well, there was discussion. I don't know what the exact figures are, but it's somewhere in the range between a mile and a half.
That's right.
Yeah, sure.
It's in that range.
Yeah, that's probably true. The actual tunnel, I believe,
they
is
don't even
probably
know.
close to a mile, but
Don't
they
you have the
probably have
blueprints?
measured it clear to Glendale Boulevard, too, as far as this part of the right-of-way.
Now, let's walk back this way.
Look, he
Boy,
keeps
we are
wanting to go
sweating,
further
aren't we?
down.
It is really humid down here.
Yeah, I can tell.
Watch your
He's
step here,
sweating,
Louis.
man.
There's a big pipe here. How long did it take them to build
Yeah,
this
where's
tunnel?
that pipe going?
This tunnel...
Wow, look at that. I love old pictures. Wow, so here's them actually building this tunnel back in the day. It's already finished. Huh. Look, they have a horse down there too. Poor horse. Poor horse down there, but look. Look how nice and new it looked. At least that part. I wonder what the other parts look like.
And the building itself took approximately 15 to 17 months to build between May of 24 and November of 1925.
Wow, that was fast. They built those tunnels fast.
So they made good progress building the tunnel.
Made very
Yeah, they
excellent
did.
progress, and the entire project came to a sum total of $5 million for the building
Really?
and tunnel. Yeah.
That was a lot of
Boy,
money back
our
then, though.
Metro line people would like to hear that these days, wouldn't they? Is the thing sturdy? Is it built?
Yes.
Is it built well?
Well, it's been through how many earthquakes, and you notice that it's pretty well intact at this time.
Yeah, let's put the light back on again.
Seems sturdy enough. You guys are still
And look up
using it
here.
for movie shoots.
Because, yeah, it's...
Wow.
It's all poured in place, reinforced concrete, and it'll probably be there as long as any of us will be around. It's,
right.
It's very, very sturdy. It's
it was here
built
before
to
us,
last
it'll be after
indefinitely.
Us. Wow. What's that?
And you know what? Just standing here like this, it's so eerie because, like you say, it wasn't that long ago.
That's true.
That this place was hustle bustle.
That's true. You can almost, like Bill says, you can almost hear their voices, the people bustling through here on their way to and from. The echo, you know, is sort of still there.
How many people would you estimate came through this tunnel?
Well, in the peak of the wartime in World War II, 1943, 61 million people went through this terminal.
Wow.
61 million
people went through.
Wow, that's a lot of people you could fit down in those tunnels or have them come through. You could probably fit a lot of people. And like I said, what's in the other parts? Like, he wants to know. I do too.
This terminal.
In how long a period
Maybe
of
Allie
time?
Carter
That was
gave
in
us
1 year,
a clue.
1940.
In 1 year?
1 year, 1943.
Wow.
And there's even more after that because they ran over 780 trains a day went right through this throat.
In the 40s?
In the 40s, during the war. Wow. And then in 44, when it was harder to drive your own car, it went up to 880 trains a day. It went right through this portion where we're standing.
Wow.
So it was an amazing amount of transportation took place in this particular building.
So there are a lot of people watching this program tonight with memories of having come through here.
Absolutely.
Did you ever come through here?
Yes, I did. I wrote it as a child, and it was fun.
I'm sure
I was fascinated with it.
Did you feel like you were in a subway or just a long tunnel?
No, it felt like a subway because my grandmother says, we're going to go ride the subway today, and this is it.
Had you ever ridden it?
Yes, I did.
And what was it like?
It was an experience. I had never been in a subway before, and it was quite an experience when I was a young child.
What's this back
So
here?
anybody over 40, 50 years of age would remember this very well.
I would think anybody 50 or older that lived in L.A. had an opportunity, probably did ride the subway.
Yeah, that's right. Which means you didn't ride it.
That I
This
didn't.
was years ago.
Well,
so
do
this
you
was
wish you
probably more
had?
like
I wish I
60,
had.
70
It would
years
be
ago
an interesting
at this point.
contrast to see what was available in the 20s and 30s and compare it to what we have today. And
this video's
actually, I
older.
believe that's just on the other
Lucky
side of this
PBS
wall
is
that they've
letting us
blocked off
watch
is the
it.
new red line that runs up
Posted 6 years ago.
the street.
So the new red line is right up next to where the old tunnel
That's
used
correct.
to be.
That's interesting. So they could probably have, when they were building the new tunnels, also connected some of these old tunnels with like service shafts and stuff, you know?
I'd have to look at the dimensions to see how far is away.
Yeah, I want to look at those too.
That's close. Right.
I would love to look at
So
the dimensions.
these guys
and
back
the
in the
plans and
20s
overlay
knew
it
what
and
they
see
were
how
doing
it
as far
looks.
as placement
Wouldn't
was
you guys?
concerned.
Oh, absolutely, right to the heart of town. Because
I'd love to do
they
that.
could get split the traffic between the two Pacific Electric stations, one on the east side of town and this one on the west side of town. And of course, with the entrance, with the subway here, no traffic problems at all.
Wow, really?
We didn't really look up here, Louis. Let's get a light up here. Was this the switching?
Yes, it was. That's, in fact, I actually
what's
have
back
some still
there?
pictures of the tower operator up
What?
there operating the tracks in here just to switch the trains.
So this.
So there's all kinds of little things like this all over. Look, it looks like there's like someone peeking at us through here. This is crazy, guys. This is all
where
still
all the
underneath
decisions
LA.
were made.
All under LA.
Down here, look at the other end down there, down where the
This is crazy.
decisions were made as to
Which train went on which track.
Wow.
Because the two tracks branched
So
into
they still
5
have these
tracks.
buildings and
I
stuff.
gotcha.
They could
And then right
realistically have
here,
more of that. Why does that look like there
at
was
the
a
end.
board in there? That's weird.
Okay, this is the. Well, there's not much in there.
No.
An old drawer, broken lights. That's about it.
That's weird.
Any thoughts as we're finished?
Look at all this stuff. That's weird.
Up our trip down
No,
here.
I
some
think it
people
would be
might think
nice
I'm
to come back
reaching.
for a day because I think it would be such a stark contrast to what we have today as far as our transportation systems go. We have to remember that at one time we didn't have the freeways and that this was the viable alternative for
look,
getting
there's-
into the
there's red
city,
cars.
avoiding traffic.
Famous
and that's
red cars.
particularly why it went underground right here near this, the heart of the city.
Right.
So they went underground to avoid traffic.
That's correct, because downtown was horrendously congested. It always has been, and that's why this was the main reason this was built, was to avoid congestion of the
like San Francisco.
trains on the streets.
They got rid of them.
It's just a mess, and that's why they brought all of the lines of the west side into this area.
Well, what goes around comes around. We're back to that same point in our city right now, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Now they want to do
With the
more
red
of
line
this
going
in,
in place, it's now again to alleviate the traffic.
Wow. Do you have many people wanting to come down here?
Oh yes, a lot of people wants to come in and see this.
Yeah, who wants to come down and see it? Tell us more.
You know what is left of the tunnels.
So they remember it.
Oh,
they remember it. Who is these they coming down to see the tunnels?
yes,
a lot of tour kids.
A lot of old people. They always.
I know they
say,
do tours
I
now,
remember
but
when I was a kid, I rode these cars. You know.
Well, come on, old people. Let's go and finish our.
Kind of repeated what everybody else said.
Is there any more to see?
I don't know if you want to go in next. I mean, on the other side of the wall.
Well, sure. Let's see.
Yeah,
let's
what's
finish
on the
up
other
on
side
the
of the
other side of the
wall?
wall, because this wall has been built here and kind of blocked off. I guess the size of what this place used to be all about.
Really? What?
Okay.
What?
Here we are on the other side of the door.
What? What is
Now,
this?
Look.
What is this room?
The old station and waiting area for the train.
What? What is this? And are those? What is that? This seems like someone's still using it, man. This doesn't feel abandoned to me. And why was there a curtain there?
It's just gone.
So this was probably used by the VA as one of their classrooms or something.
This was used by the VA as a classroom? What's going on? This is why I needed to watch this on here. This is crazy. What is going on here?
When they were here.
Yes, it was one of the classrooms over here.
Wow.
What do you use it for now?
I hate to tell you, but I like it better in there than I do out here. I think we made a mistake ending our program right here.
Why do you need that fire extinguisher there if nobody's down here anymore?
How close
What's
we are
this,
to
all
history
this shit
all the
for?
time,
Why
and
are
many
you
times
need
don't
something
know
to
it.
wheel heavy shit
It's
behind you?
just on the other side of the door.
That's right.
And also, as long as we're waxing eloquent here, that the old train line, the old subway that was laid down back in the 20s, is coming back just a few yards from here with the new metro line. So history does repeat itself.
Goes around,
right?
around.
It does, right?
Thank
Thank you, Heel.
You're the two
I
guys
agree,
who
Heel.
explored this on their own and uncovered a little bit of history on their own. Here's the guy from General Services. You're still kind of the watchdog of this thing, aren't you?
Really?
Trying to keep it dry.
Well, who
Keep
took
it
over
safe,
for him
keep
after
it
he
dry.
was
It's a
gone?
very important
Gone,
part
if
of
you know
our
what I mean.
history. Thanks for giving us the tour.
You're welcome.
thanks, man.
Anytime.
And we're going to put your home number on the phone on the screen right now so that anyone else who wants a tour can call.
Oh, madame. Who else thinks that was shade? I do. That was shade, man. He was shading that dude. I may be reaching, but I'm reaching for the stars, baby.
Call you, right?
No problem.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. He's like, I want to go
That's been our
away.
report from Los Angeles's first subway back in the 1920s, and it's still here.
Yeah, is that it? Oh, here's that one of
Various
the
lines that I described before.
And you've
Here's
got
that
some
one of the
pictures
other
of that,
things.
some footage.
Actual motion.
So you saw that. Here's one of the old when they went to go visit the tunnel, and see, it's these get boarded up and stuff, but they're still there. So that's one of them. Okay, so these tunnels are still there. That is really that's proof, right? So let's take a look at some of my pictures that I have for you guys. Remember, so that was a lot, right? That was a lot to take in. And yeah, oh my God. Yeah, and Lana's ex-boyfriend's father is Dole Pineapple. And the guy wearing the shirt was giving a tour that, what's his name, wanted to put on the thing. So, oh wait, let me move up. Let me pull up the picture. Okay. Do do do. Okay. Here is one of the tunnels, and it's by like a park, right? Let's see. Oh. See, and here's someone, they're taking a picture. So these tunnels are still there. Here is, so I was looking at Google Maps, and in that area, there's a school that's in that financial district or like a park or something. And this is one of those tunnels that have been sealed off. But it has a door. Remember, Allie said that there are doors and tunnels to these places in schools. They're by schools. They're by parks. This looks like a dog park. A dog park. And here is this nice green entrance into the tunnel. Look at that shit. Wow. I'll put it up here in the middle. Can I make this full screen? There we go. Look at that. So Lana Del Rey, Allie Carter, the tunnels under LA. You can see how someone, when they're a child, you know, especially going down into these areas, if you're being schmugged and carried down into these areas as an order, remember that word, it kind of all seems to make sense. It seems to make sense, you know, like we're looking into history, we're looking at all of this stuff, and we are seeing that these tunnels are real. And to someone who's a teen who is in scary situations and being schmugged and controlled by older adults with power and being taken into areas where there's little to no oxygen, maybe some of these other people, because you can get little things where you have little canisters where you can have oxygen. If you go hiking in low oxygen areas, like high altitude hiking, you can get little canisters so there were cars down there. One of the guys even mentioned the whole feeling the blast of cool air and stuff. So these are out there. These are down here. And I think we're going to end the stream on that, since my mama's going to be home. Everybody's going to be home. I'm going to go make some dinner. And I am going to vlog and start researching for the next stream. So hopefully this was interesting to you. I'm going to leave this stream up so we can watch it over and over and get it and educate ourselves on why Allie Carter could be telling the truth, because we found threads of truth and we're building this whole big ass quilt. And we're going to use it to snuff out the degeneracy that is in the world. Because remember, I'm the devil. I'm here to expose these degenerates who have been misusing my words. Just kidding. I know I'm crazy. I'm a weird, crazy person. But I guess maybe that's why it's easy for me to thread these things together. So on that note, I love you guys. I hope you guys are safe out there. I'm sending lots of positive thoughts to y'all. Let me know in the comments what you thought about my first stream. I kind of liked it because it was like watching YouTube together and me just going, oh my God, she was right. Oh my God. And finding all these threads, and then Lana Del Rey and her album and the guy she dated for years and all the things she said about having a bad relationship and then getting out of Hollywood. She's not in Hollywood anymore, guys. She's married some guy who owns a crocodile farm. She's out of LA. So, yeah, it's kind of a lot. So, on that note, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you've hit the notification button. Hit the like so that we can get the stream out to everybody so they can know that this is real. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.